Hello everyone. This is my presentation about 15 Puzzle zkApp. I provided a link in here. Okay. Here's my outline. I will start with why I choose this project, and I move on. What is a 15 puzzle? Then I'll move on with 15 puzzle zkApp, and I'll show my 15 puzzle smart contract. Then I'll show my running test results, and I made a little bit comparison of zkApp versus Cairo, and I will share my experiences building with zkApp CLI and Snarky.js and what I want to build next. Okay, why I choose this project is building a zero knowledge game is a little bit fun. I'm also a Cairo developer, so I just wanted to compare zkApps with Cairo since I also built this application, decentralized application in Cairo, and I'll share my comparison later. So basically, 15 puzzle app, as you can see from the picture, there is the initial state. There are some numbers from starting 1 to the 15, and sliding puzzle having 15 square tiles, and tiles are numbered with 1 to 15 in a 4 multiplied by 4 tiles frame, and leaving one unoccupied tile position, which is here. And this is the initial configuration. Basically, if you press the button 13, and empty tile will change the position with the 13. And if you press 7, the positions of 7 and empty tile will change their position. Okay, by moving tiles, you need to reach the solved configuration, which is basically a traditional game. I don't know the nationality of it, but yeah. So, but what is within puzzle zkApp, and what is relation with zero knowledge? So, the goal of the 15 puzzle game, as I mentioned, giving an initial configuration and moving to there are some moves to reach the final configuration. So with this information, you can prove that you have a solution, which is the solved configuration to an initial configuration without revealing your moves to another party. So for this, you need to make some validations. You need to check some validations. So some of them are the moves need to make sense. So think about a matrix, and all location needs to be between 0 and 3. And each consecutive pair represents an adjacent locations. Also, tiles with the corresponding locations will need to make sense. If the previous location of the tile is 0 to 1, the next location cannot be 0 to 3, since we need to have a one axis difference actually. And the final state does need to be solved configuration, and also the hash of the initial state provided by user needs to be match the hash of the initial state of the game. Okay, so here is my 15 puzzle smart contract like design, and I'll also provide my GitHub link, and I can share my code. Basically, 15 game is a smart contract which has 2 states, which is solved if your final configuration and validations are true, it's going to be true. And the challenge, which is the hash of the board, and there are 2 methods, which is initialization to initialize the game, and the solve method to check your game is true. Okay, the solve method basically, first we need to check if the challenge is up to date. Then you need to check the moves are legal. and you need to check if the initial board is correct. Then you need to apply moves and get hash for the final board, and check if the final hash matches the solved board's hash. Also, move is a circuit value which is going to be struck at new snarky.js, and it includes previous location and now look not and now, and board, which is also circuit value, is also a matrix which is based on fields, and moves are like including the move. Okay, for running tests, there are correct solutions. It's the start board you can see is the initial configuration, and there are some moves which needs to be correct. You can press this one and see the correct result. And false start board could be something like that. There is some false value, and these are the false moves. So when I run the test, you can see that you can see that there are some failure in assertions. Okay, so I want to move my comparison of zkApp versus Cairo. And in zkApps, you can write your decentralized app with TypeScript, which doesn't require a learning curve. So it makes the zero knowledge programming very easier. And in Cairo, you need to learn Cairo, which requires a learning curve. And in zkApps, you can write your applications without revealing information, but Cairo doesn't support zk Starks currently, so that it's just verify the computations and uses it's used as a scalable solution just. And both of them are I enjoy writing. And my experiences building with zkApps, CLI, and Snarky.js, writing TypeScript was fun, and no need to learn another language that I mentioned before. Also, running tasks in local Mina blockchain is easy and fast in main.ts. And I have some little bit confusion at first about which parts of are Snarky.js and which parts of the code should I write in TS. So it was challenging for me at the very beginning. And I didn't need too much learning curve with the documentations and examples, since documentation is really good to learn fast. When I start, there was only just one example and just one tutorial. Then you guys added some more tutorials, and it reached the 10 tutorials, which makes it easy to learn for the people who is not familiar to zkApps. So what I want to build is next. Actually, I would implement more complex constructions rather than 15 puzzle, and I want to build actually more cryptographical constructions. And if possible, if there is no pairing, elliptic curve pairings, I can implement elliptic curve pairings. Some of the other ideas are vertical trees, zk contracts, and maybe decentralized exchange aggregator on Mina Protocol. But there is no I think decentralized exchanges right now on Mina Protocol. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for listening. Is there any questions? I will happy to answer.